What did you make of United the other night? I spoke to you on my way home that night, right? And I think you said what will the score be, and I told you because I said on air 2-1.
Yep.
So I got it bang on. But I genuinely thought we'd win the game.
Yeah, I think we. Do you know what? Before the match, because of the protest, all that kind of stuff, and as the game drew closer, everybody kind of was thinking the same thing as well. Everybody could see. That your prediction would have been right. Yeah, but no, honestly, everybody turned from I can only see Liverpool win. To actually, I would not be surprised if Man United got something from this tonight. And I genuinely think that the protests, the anger, the atmosphere, I think it got in Liverpool's heads a little bit and helped Man United for sure.
I also think Liverpool haven't been great, have they? They haven't got going yet.
No.
So I think when you looked at that and Manchester United's backs against the wall, just been pumped by Brentford, I thought, oof, if ever there was a time to get a result, it just felt like they were going to get something from this game. I didn't think they'd win, but I thought they'd get a point.
As most football fans do, get a little bit too excited when your team win. And I came on, I think it was yesterday, was it? And I said, I still stand by this actually, because only 3 games have been played. I still fancy United to get top 4. The window's still open. I still expect.
What he said was minimum. So when I then pushed him, right, what does that mean?
Answer me this, right? So we've got Casemiro, right? I personally think De Jong's still going to happen, right? We've been linked to, is it Arthur, the Ajax centre forward? He looks magic. Right? Anthony, sorry.
Anthony.
Arthur, who's Arthur? James Arthur.
Anthony. I'll take him up front as well and sing a few songs for us. But if 2 of those 3 come in, right, I see no reason why you can't include United in top 4 chat. I see no reason at all.
I don't know. I don't like. I just think. I think you've got too many players. I think Man United have got too many players that will do it when it's kind of like, let's say, the anger and the atmosphere the other night. I think the Man United players knew. I think they knew that they had to really, really work and they had to put on a show and their intensity was high. The good thing with football is nowadays is there's no hiding place, so there's stats and data for absolutely everything. So high intensity runs, for example, Man United the other night did more high intensity runs than I've seen them do ever. They were shutting down in every little position of the pitch. So Man United, all the sort of medical staff, the physios, all the trainers, all that kind of stuff, will be able to see that. They've got the stats and the data. And from now on, if anybody falls short on that, they should be able to get the manager and go, listen, they're falling short now. Like, do you know what I mean? If they lose a game, they haven't done the high intensity runs. Why haven't you done the high intensity runs? Because you can do it. Do you know what I mean? Bruno the other night, wow, he was everywhere, ratting, getting round people. He was incredible. But he's got to keep that level up now.
Well, why, Bendy, can't United play like that every week?
Well, it depends. Like, you got to look at Manchester United struggle when teams defend really deep, when they've got to make the play and try and create opportunities.
And they can't get through,
And they can't get through. Liverpool were wide open, as we saw for all the goals. That's when the test will be, when you play against teams that maybe haven't got the same amount of quality that Manchester United have got, and go, well, you know what, let's just defend really tight, really stodgy. Let's see if they can break them down and then catch you lot on the counter-attack. That's when we'll be able to judge United.
Martinez, of course, was playing there next to Rafael Varane. I thought they were both fantastic, actually. How much of one centre-half playing well is down to the other centre-half playing well, do you think? Yeah,
to have a good partnership is so important, and the goalkeeper as well. I think De Gea from the Brentford game, where he's trying to play balls out the back, stupid balls out the back, he knew what he was doing against Liverpool the other night. There was no messing around. He got the ball played back to him, and if he didn't have an option, he was kicking it long. Simple as that. That way the defenders know where they are, then they can push up. But I still do worry though that Martinez is going to struggle against physical teams, much more physical teams. I think his height, I know it's been obviously well documented, 5'9", and he was actually quite decent in the air the other night, to be fair, against Liverpool. And Liverpool are fairly dominant in the air normally, but I do still worry that he will get bullied
up against like a Mitrovic.
Against a bigger, stronger attackers. I think everybody will struggle against Mitrovic in the air, though. He is a bully. He's a big bully.
Hopefully Arsenal will this weekend. What do you make of Harry Maguire's future at the club? Do you see him having a future at the club? He's, 29 years old now?
It's a difficult one because, listen, the price tag's done him no favours. Because when you look at what Liverpool got for 75 million, arguably the best centre-back in the world, and for 80 million, Maguire at times has done very well, you'd have to say that. But he's just fallen short recently. Last season was poor.
Hull was brilliant. Leicester, he was brilliant. Different
pressure, completely different pressure. You're talking about Manchester United, arguably the biggest team in the world. All eyes are on Manchester United. Every little mistake gets kind of magnicised tenfold. Good word, that, isn't it?
Magnicised isn't a word. That's not a word.
I made that up. So that is a word, isn't it?
No, you're missing a T somewhere.
It's magnified. Magnicised.
So it's magnicised, right?
What word?
Magnified, right? And absolutely blown out proportion. But I'm telling you now, if Harry Maguire, say he was made available for transfer, and I know you're never ever going to get anywhere near what you paid for him, but say he was 30 million, there would be at least 12 teams in the Premier League that have been from for 30 million.
What level do you think he's going to though? If it's 30 million quid,
Well, if you start looking for the league, right, he could go
I can't even believe you're having this conversation about Harry Maguire, Man United captain, being let go for 30 million.
Well, no one's going to pay 50.
I think everyone will buy him for 30. I think Chelsea would buy him for 30.
But this is my point.
Yeah, Chelsea would. I don't think anybody would pay 50 though.
If it was 30, it could go to Leeds, Brighton, Newcastle, Fulham, Brentford, Palace, Forest, Southampton.
Yeah, but there's lots
Chelsea,
of clubs that
Villa,
the Man United captain
Bournemouth,
won't go to.
Everton. Listen, when you get to a point when you're not playing, you haven't got that. You ain't got room to be that picky.
And not only that, that's him getting taken out of the furnace almost. Do you know what I mean? If he goes and signs for a Villa or somebody like that, the pressure's off almost. Do you know what I mean? He'll be able to just concentrate on playing first team football and doing his best that he normally can.
West Ham, 30 million.
Yeah, but I can't see the Man United captain going to West Ham.
Leicester lose Fofana. Go back to Leicester, 30 million or loan.
His wages might be a bit of a problem, man.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Ben. If you were his agent, what would your advice be to him?
Oh, stay where you are for a bit. You know, it's been one game. Don't need to jump ship yet. Don't need to do anything stupid. I think it's good for him. I think he just needed to be brought out of the team for a little bit. He needs a bit of the attention coming off him. Sometimes a rest is honestly it's so needed. Just a chance to kind of sit back, watch the other players playing, and then you can kind of get a fresh outlook on it again.
The only thing about that, and he's right, he probably needs to be pulled out a little bit, is that he hasn't got time on his side right now because of the World Cup. And I know Gareth loves him and he's one of his favourites. But if he was to spend the next month, 2 months not playing at all,
I think that's irrelevant.
If he doesn't play, or he gets 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there.
Raheem Sterling hardly played for City towards the end of the season.
There's a big difference between a wide man and a centre half.
Yeah, your centre half's got to be playing first team football.
Got to be playing.
He's got to be playing.
Have you ever been at a club where you've been asked as a goalkeeper who you prefer in front of you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
you have. So that conversation will be taking place.
Yeah, it's not, and you're not saying it in a kind of a backstabbing, stitching way. But you do have your favourites that you enjoy playing with. So I've been at West Brom for 7-8 years, Watford, and then I had at West Brom. We had Craig Dawson, I had Gareth McCauley. And I knew what I'm going to get from them both. They're big headed kick-its. They will, you know what I mean? They'll score you goals on one end, they'll defend you at one end, and they won't try and take risks.
Nasty as well, both of them.
Nasty, horrible to play against. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And then when I went to Watford, they asked me about Craig Dawson. I was like, mate, sign him. You know what you're going to get from Craig Dawson. It's as simple as that. Signed him, brilliant player. But there's definitely conversations along the way where they might try and sign another centre-back, or another centre-back might do well. They might lose a bit of form or something. Who would you rather play? And it's not being a stitchy kind of backstabber. It's for the good of the team. Do you know what I mean?